Former chairman of the Peace Management Initiative PMI Horace Levy is defending the organization following comments by the National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang, which suggests it is using criminals in its social intervention programs. The PMI's Violence Interrupters program, which uses community members to help maintain peace, is funded by the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP. However, Dr. Chang says he plans to scrap the program. Mr. Levy says while he is aware funding for the CSJP would come to an end next year, he thinks the National Security Minister's comments are way off base.
To talk about it, hugging up criminals, we work alongside the police. We don't give information to the police because otherwise we would lose the trust of the youth entirely. But we worked and have worked for years alongside police, and we benefit from the work of the police when the police are able to detect and catch criminals, as, for example, members of the Klansmen in St. Catherine. So there's no hugging up of criminals whatsoever. We work with delinquent youth, potentially and actually delinquent.
Mr. Levy described the comments by Dr. Chang as sad, and he said persons tend to mistake delinquency for criminality.
It's a mistake to feel that all the youth inside the inner city are criminals. There's delinquency and there are crimes committed, but they're not criminally minded youth, all these inside the inner city by any means. They're youth who can be reached, who can be turned around, who can be mainstreamed, which is what the PMI sets out to do and has done with hundreds of such youth over the past 17 years since it came into existence.
In the meantime, Mr. Levy is hoping the government will continue its funding of the PMI. He says the money for the program is not significant compared to what is being spent on the states of emergency.
The funding of PMI is just a little over $100 million a year, which is really very small compared to the billions that's spent on flooding communities with police and soldiers, many of whom do very good work, and many others simply sit around at entry points and do nothing all day except some of them flirt with the girls. So in terms of cost, PMI would be a far more feasible option in terms of the actual turning around of these youth. Again, that's the kind of social intervention that is effective.
Mr. Levy says the PMI is also seeking international funding. Kimberly Broderick, Frontline News.